What is up, guys? This is Brandon from USF1. Continuing on with these driver profiles of the Know the Grid series. We are finally on our team, Haas. As you can tell, Haas t-shirt, hat, even the flag. You know, that's our team. So I'm kind of jazzed. So stay tuned. I'll be talking about Romain Grosjean shortly after this. Alright, like I said, we're talking about Romain Grosjean. He's Haas's #1 driver. He has kind of a longer history. So his career started in 2008. Obviously it's 2017 now. So he has a pretty extensive history. As you can tell, he is qualified to be our #1 driver. But Romain Grosjean was born in Switzerland, but races under the French license. I was kind of weirded out when I read that he was actually born a Swiss guy, even though I always thought he was French. Motor racing has been banned in his birth country since like the 1950s, so that kind of makes sense why he doesn't race under Switzerland flag. He joined Renault as a test driver in 2008 after winning the 2007 Formula 3 Euro Series, so he has some podiums in him. Grosjean had previously been one of the team's development drivers. Began his rise through the ranks, winning the 2003 Swiss Formula Renault Series with 10 wins from as many starts. He then moved to French Formula Renault and was 7th in 2004 with 1 win, and a champion in 2005 with 10 wins. He also took 2 podiums in the Formula Renault Euro Cup at Valencia. Grosjean made his Formula 3 debut at the Rib-and Macau event at the end of the year. A demanding street circuit and not an ideal venue for a debut appearance. He took Duval's place in the Signature Plus team, started 19th and finished 9th, despite losing several places on the first lap. He beat teammates Fabio, Carbine, and Morneau and raced convincingly with many Formula 3 regulars. Having stayed in the Formula 3 Euro Series with Signature Plus for 2006, the team hoping to recapture its form having switched from Opel to Mercedes engines, he ended the year 13th with only a single podium. But he also made an appearance in the British Formula 3 event at Pau and won both races from pole, setting fastest laps both times. For 2007, he moved to the Formula 3 Euro Series champions ASM, who had steered Lewis Hamilton and Paul di Resta to victory in the previous 2 seasons. He enjoyed little success in the 2 big Formula 3 races a year. He qualified on pole for the Masters of Formula 3 race at Zolder, but stalled at the start and finished 14th, and was 8th at the Macau Grand Prix. However, he beat Sebastian Buemi, I probably butchered that last name, to the Formula 3 Euro Series title and bagged a testing role at Renault for 2008. Over the winter of 2008 and 2007-2008, he became the inaugural GP2 Asia champion for ART, winning 4 times and beating Buemi with 61 points to 37. He stayed with ART for the GP2 main series in 2008. He ended the year 4th overall with 2 wins and lost a further 2 due to penalties. Switching to the 8X team for 2009, he won 2 of the first 3 races to take the lead of the championship, despite suffering a substantial crash at Monaco. Fast forward to 2009 now, with his Renault team. Grosjean cut his GP2 season short after Nelson Piquet Jr. was dropped by Renault, and he was promoted to the Formula 1 team in Piquet's place, making his debut at the European Grand Prix. This was an inopportune time for Grosjean to make his Formula 1 debut since, well, one, he had twice champion Fernando Alonso as his teammate, so that was kind of hard shoes to fill, at least to compete against. The recently introduced testing restrictions gave Grosjean little time to drive the car. Worse, the team was in disarray following the expulsion of Flavio Briatore and Pat Simmons after that whole ordeal with having team orders at Piquet crashing on purpose to help Alonso win the championship at the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. So I guess that was exposed, and so therefore Piquet was, banned and Grosjean took his place. But anyway, Grosjean struggled to impress during his time with the team, usually qualifying near the back and staying there. unfortunately. He only really distinguished himself when he crashed in the practice at Singapore in exactly the same place PK had during the infamous race to 12 1 year earlier. He was not retained for 2010 as new management brought in Robert Kubica and Vitaly Petrov. Grosjean began 2010 driving a Ford GT in the GT1 World Championship. He later raced in the Auto GP Championship before returning to GP2 with DAMS. He signed with Gravity Sports Management and shortly after was appointed by Pirelli for Formula One tire testing. In 2011, Grosjean raced a full season in GP2 in 2011 with DAMS, winning the championship with 3 races to go. That convinced new team principal Eric Bollier to return him to the team from the beginning of 2012 alongside Kimi Räikkönen. Now, 2012, Grosjean's first full season in Formula One showed promise, but also a deal too much in... I'm just editing that whole goddamn thing out. That's so stupid. The defining moment came in Belgium where he triggered a 4-car crash, which led to him being banned for 1 full race. The severity of the punishment was due at least in part to the fact championship contenders had been involved in the incident. This was bad enough, but when he caused another collision on the first lap in Japan, his victim, Mark Webber, branded him a first lap nutcase. Wow, that's the first time I heard that. Even then, the unnecessary incidents did not abate. He ruined his race in Brazil by tangling with De La Rosa during qualifying. This soured a season in which Grosjean also showed considerable promise. He regularly out-qualified his vastly more experienced teammate and scored podium finishes on 3 occasions. He was running second in Valencia when his alternator failed. But the string of collisions clearly gave Lotus cause for concern. They waited till after the season was completed before confirming he would race for them again in 2013. And Grosjean was so relieved he emailed the team staff to thank them for the show of confidence, because he kind of pulled a Pastor Maldonado that season. Grosjean's second full season got off to a slow start, and in Monaco, a crash-strewn performance raised fresh questions about his performance. But he raised his game from that moment on, and found another gear at Lotus introduced a revised, long version of the E31 chassis. He took the fight to the dominant Red Bulls in Japan, where he led much of the race, and at the Circuit of the Americas, where he split them on the podium. An excellent recovery drive from 17th on the grid in India netted another podium finish. That earned him a 3rd full season at the team, now alongside Pastor Maldonado, who arrived in place of Kimi Räikkönen. Now in 2014 however, Lotus driver had much to celebrate after a grueling 2014 season. The team began the year well off the pace with the E22, and just as the car was beginning to improve, the mid-season banning of interconnected suspension systems set them back again. Grosjean impressed by putting the car 5th on the grid and bringing it home in 8th place, despite a problem with his floor. He repeated the results next time out in Monaco, but that was the sum total of his points finishes for the entire year. Unable to land a seat at a more competitive team for 2015, Grosjean remained at Lotus, where the arrival of Mercedes engine promised to return to their previous form. 2015, Lotus did raise their game, but the team's growing financial problems presented serious problems for them in the second half of the year. Progress on the car slowed, and at times their participation looked in doubt. On one occasion, the team staff found themselves without hospitality at a race. Against this background, Grosjean's 3rd place finish in Belgium was a shot in the arm for the outfit. When Renault considering a return to Formula One, it was a timely reminder of the Enston's outfit's potential. But with Renault waiting until after the end of the season to confirm their return, Grosjean gambled on a move to new Ferrari-aligned outfit Haas for 2016. Woo! While Spa marked the high point of the year, Grosjean had been emphatically the strongest of the 2 Lotus drivers throughout 2015. He outscored Maldonado by a ratio of almost 2-1 and outqualified him 17 times in 19 separate occasions that year. Few expected Romain Grosjean to switch to Haas to pay off as spectacularly as it did in the first 2 races of 2016. We're in Australia, our first race ever after a race suspension caused when teammate Esteban Gutierrez was hit by Alonso's McLaren. Grosjean rode his luck for a sixth place finish after qualifying 8th. In Bahrain, one race later, he went one further, better, using completely different tactics. Running an aggressive 3-stop strategy, he came home 5th. But from then on, Haas only, we didn't really get that many points from then on. We got some, but not a lot. But while Grosjean became increasingly frustrated with our braking and tire problems. We had tire wear problems major, and pretty bad braking problems while we struggled to compete with the other teams. But nonetheless, he is returning for 2017 with Kevin Magnussen as the number 2 driver for Haas. But yeah, that does it for Romain Grosjean. Yes, it is kind of longer because, again, he has a longer career. I wanted to make it accurate, and I wanted to make you guys informed on what his career and what his driver profile is. As you can see, he has a lot of potential. He had a problem when he was younger, taking too many risks and getting into crashes. I think he learned from that. He has a family now. He's still fearless, don't get me wrong, but not as ballsy as like Maldonado was. But I guess he learned from the best, right? Not what not to be. And that's what not to be like Pastor Maldonado, right? But yeah, guys, that does it for today. I'm Brandon from USF1, your source for Formula 1 news here in North America. I'll be coming to you with Kevin Magnussen shortly. Until my next video, guys, take care.